Bias warning, if you think I've been biased before, we're going to hit a whole new level today. Hey everybody, Ray here. As we head into the second half of the 2.4 patch, it's time to talk about the Cryo Archer, Ganyu. I wanted to get this video out as soon as possible as there are so many great characters this patch and it seems like there are a lot more to come. It can be difficult to know who to wish for. But Ganyu is a great choice. See, there it is already, the Ganyu bias. Before we hop on in, please let me know if you enjoy these videos by hitting that like button, tap the subscribe button to join the team, and if there's a character you want to see next, let me know in the comments, or in my Discord server linked in the description. So within the last few videos, we've had a mortal mistaken for an Adeptus, and now both. Ganyu's heritage is half human, half illuminated beast, Qilin to be specific. She's a dedicated follower of Rex Lapis and under contract as a protector of Liyue. She works as a secretary for the Liyue Qixing and is very dedicated to her work. So let's check out my Ganyu build, and for once, it's not total rubbish. Of course there is always room for improvement, but I'm pretty happy with it at the moment. I don't have any constellations for her, although I am considering her first constellation as it does look pretty handy. Like Xiao in my last video, ranking my characters by their talent average was a bit of a wake-up call that I needed to work on Ganyu as she deserves better. So I put in the work and now her talents are at 10, 9 and 9, and I'm honestly tempted to triple crown her just because. I've unlocked all of her ascension levels, maxed out her friendship, and she's currently level 80. Well, she was at the time of filming, but after filming this section I decided I'd level her up to 90, and I've gotten her to 85 so far. For weapon, Ganyu is equipped with a level 90 Amos's bow, and not only does it look aesthetically perfect with her, its passive talent Strong-Willed increases charge attack and boosts damage when fighting long range. It also seems to canonically be Ganyu's weapon. The artifacts I have for her aren't perfect, but still probably gives me the highest damage output of any character on my account. She has a 4-piece Wanderer's Troop set for the 35% charge attack damage bonus. I did consider Blizzard Strayer set, but that's another domain where my luck is awful. After her fixed HP flower, everything is attack. Attack Feather, Attack Sands, Attack Goblet, Attack Circlet. Her overall attack stat is 3,245, only 52 attack points behind my level 90 D-Look, so she has the second highest attack stat on my account. So if you're thinking there's a place for Ganyu in your team and you want to get ready, it's time to stock up on Cryo Crystals and Hoarfrost Cores, scale the highest peaks of Liyue for Qingxin flowers, and take down some Whopper flowers. For her talents you'll need Books of Diligence, more Whopper Flower Nectar, and Shadow of the Warrior from Battling Harbinger Tartaglia. Once you've added Ganyu to your team, any more wishes for her will give you Stellar Fortuna, which will light up her constellation Shenhe Unicornis. Google Translate told me this is Latin for China unicorn, although if we make it a little less literal perhaps, it's Chinese unicorn or Qilin, like her heritage. I think her constellation is one of the nicest in game, and I actually have it on a t-shirt that I got from Redbubble and a really cute pin from a Kickstarter campaign. I'll leave the links below if you want to check them out yourself. So let's check out what Ganyu can do. Her basic attack, Lucian Archery, performs up to 6 consecutive shots with a bow. Like the other archers, her charge attack is a more precise aimed shot with increased damage, and a fully charged arrow will deal cryo damage. When plunging from midair, her arrows deal AoE damage on impact with the ground. But unlike the other archers, Ganyu has a second charge level. Continuing to charge a cryo arrow becomes a Frostflake arrow. The Frostflake arrow deals cryo damage to its target and blooms, dealing AoE cryo damage. So even if you don't hit your target, you'll hit your target. After unlocking the first passive talent, Undivided Heart, firing a Frostflake arrow gives a 20% crit rate boost to the next Frostflake arrow fired within the next 5 seconds. The first constellation, Dew Drinker, decreases an opponent's resistance to cryo by 15% for 6 seconds when they're hit by a Frostflake arrow or its bloom, and restores 2 energy for Ganyu at the same time. For her elemental skill, Trail of the Qilin, Ganyu dashes backwards, dealing AoE cryo damage and leaving a single Ice Lotus behind. The Ice Lotus will taunt surrounding opponents and bloom when destroyed or once its duration ends, dealing AoE cryo damage. Her second constellation, the Auspicious, grants an additional charge, and her fifth constellation, the Merciful, gives 3 additional talent levels. And her final constellation, the Clement, automatically charges the next Frostflake arrow shot within 30 seconds of using the skill. For the Elemental Burst Celestial Shower, Ganyu coalesces atmospheric frost and snow to summon a sacred cryo pearl that exorcises evil. During the ability's duration, the sacred cryo pearl will continuously rain down shards of ice, striking opponents within the AoE and dealing cryo damage. Celestial Shower also has a fairly low burst cost, a really large AoE, and lasts quite a while at 15 seconds. The second passive talent, Harmony Between Heaven and Earth, grants a 20% cryo damage bonus to members in Celestial Shower's AoE. The third constellation, Cloud Strider, increases the level of Celestial Shower by 3 talent levels. And the fourth constellation, Westward Sojourn, increases the damage taken by opponents in Celestial Shower's AoE. It starts with a 5% increase and strengthens over time up to a maximum of 25%, and the effect lingers for 3 seconds after opponents leave the area. Her final passive talent, Preserved for the Hunt, refunds 15% of the ores used when crafting bow-type weapons. And when cooking the healing dish Universal Peace, there's a chance she'll create her signature dish, Prosperous Peace, instead, and this dish will restore a greater amount of health than the original product. If there was a Genshin Impact themed restaurant with the actual dishes from the game, this would be what I'd order. This looks yum. Now, let's talk team comps. Where does Ganyu fit on the team? Well, Ganyu is the team, folks. But on the off chance you'd like to fill the party, let's talk resonance. The Cryo Resonance Shattering Ice increases crit rate against opponents that are frozen or affected by cryo by 15%. So bring along a second cryo unit and it's going to allow Ganyu to crit more often. I feel like when I'm playing Ganyu, the only times I may need to switch out is to trigger a heal or a shield, so my top picks for that would be Chi-Chi and Diona. Everyone will have Kaya, so he can always tag in, and for even more crit boosts, Rosaria's kit has some nice additions. A shield is a pretty good idea to bring along with Ganyu because it will stop her arrows from being interrupted. If you intend to use shields, you can bring along a double Geo for stronger shields and a 15% damage boost while shielded. Personally, if I want a shield, I'm probably using Zhongli, but everyone's going to have Noelle. You could take a Pyro route with someone like Toma or Xinyan, a neat little segue into double Pyro for 25% attack boost from the Pyro Resonance there. Of course, a natural pairing for Cryo is Hydro for the freeze reaction. One of the best Hydro options, if not the best, for a Ganyu team is Mona, and if you have Kokomi, also a good choice. A very free-to-play friendly option for laying down some Hydro is Barbara, and even Xingqiu is a good Hydro option. I also feel like we should talk about Anemo and Electro just because they haven't had a mention yet. Sucrose is always a great choice and makes a solid sub-DPS, and teaming her burst with Ganyu will keep opponents in the AoE. Sayu's burst can heal and deal extra damage, and she has the most fun skill in the game. Fischl's skill can deal off-field damage, and Beta will make a great sub-DPS. Now usually during this next part I try out different teams and see how they work together, but all of the teams you're about to see are teams that I've used for weeklies and bosses lately. Yes, it's final thoughts time, and for my final thoughts I think you all know what I'm about to say. I remember the first time we encountered Ganyu as an NPC and she really stuck in my mind as she just looked so different to the other characters to me. I'm usually not very good with archers, so it's my allegiance to Cryo that made me want Ganyu in the beginning, but now it's not often you'll catch me on my way to a big fight without her. I think the best advice I could give to new players is don't miss out on Ganyu. I found her easy to build, lots of bows work with her too, so there isn't really one specific weapon you need to make her viable, and thanks to her bloom damage you don't need to worry if you had bad aim, like I do. And even I'm getting great damage numbers with a pretty basic build. A lot of the time, Ganyu doesn't even need a team behind her either, because she can pretty much do it all herself. So that about wraps up our road to Ganyu. I hope you found this video helpful and informative, and if you're wishing for her then I really hope you get her. The question of today's video is, if you were a Genshin Impact character, who would you be? I think I'd be Ganyu, thousands of years old vegetarian workaholic who looks like a goat. Trust me, it checks out. I've had some suggestions for new videos and I'm going to try and get to them soon, but don't forget to let me know if there's anyone you want me to work on next. For now though, I'll see you next time.
Could we maybe find a peaceful resolution instead? Never mind, doesn't matter.